Hey y'all, it's Dawn, and I'm so glad you're back. I've got another fun, budget-friendly DIY video for you today. This is a frame I got from Goodwill, which has been waiting for the perfect project. The first thing I did was clean it up, remove the picture from the center, and move the hooks to the side of the frame and place them on what will now be the top of the frame. And sorry about my head being in the way, but I was really into getting this sign completed, and y'all know how I am. I always forget that I'm recording. I created this cut file using a file from Design Bundles. You'll find a link to them in the description. I sized it to what I needed so it would fit inside of the frame. Since the vinyl was so large and I didn't want to mess it up, I laid a piece of transfer tape backing on the board where I wanted to apply the vinyl. I also used a ruler to make sure the vinyl was centered and straight on the board. I placed the transfer tape on top of the backing and then slowly removed the backing, applying the vinyl using a squeegee. And guys, somehow I wound up with the Y in story stuck to my thumb. I simply placed it on my weeding tool and applied it to the board. I'm just so glad I realized it and didn't have to recut this thing. To seal and protect the sign, I applied a layer of satin Mod Podge with a large Mod Podge brush and left it to dry. This was actually the front of the sign. I used the back and painted it with white chalk paint. Once the Mod Podge had dried, I placed the board into the frame, and for whatever reason, it didn't want to sit flat in one corner. I used scissors and trimmed the corners so the board would sit flat. I went around the sign and stapled it on each side to hold the board in the frame. And just look at how amazing it turned out. I love the simplicity and I can't wait to hang it. It's the perfect touch of farmhouse for my living room. Let me know in the comments what you think. I had this large glass candle holder in my stash and decided I would etch it for a housewarming gift for a dear friend of mine. I applied a reusable stencil that I made, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description. And then used Folk Art glass etching cream. I've never used etching cream before, so I thought I'd give it a try. I used an old paintbrush and brushed on a layer of the etching cream. I left the etching cream on the glass for about 20 minutes and then removed the stencil and rinsed everything off with tap water. And just look at how amazing it turned out. Like I said, this was my first time ever using an etching cream, and it was a really simple thing to do. I will definitely be using it more often to create some beautiful home decor. Let me know if you'll be giving the etching cream a try. You'll find a link to my Amazon store where you can pick up this etching cream if you want to give this a try. Today's video is another Thrift Flip Thursday collab. Try to say that several times. Hosted by Tammy from the Rusted Willow and Elizabeth from Southern Gmore Gals. I look forward to this collab every month because I love creating with thrifted items, and I really love to see what other people do. You'll find links to both of their channels along with a link to this month's playlist in the description. Be sure to take a look at all the amazing thrift flips in this playlist. And now for another thrift flip. I picked up this galvanized bucket at Goodwill, and as you can see, I gave $4 for it. It has been sitting in my stash for over a year, just waiting for the perfect project. Well, I came up with it. I removed the stickers and cleaned the bucket with rubbing alcohol. I created this cut file in Design Space, cut it out, weeded it, and applied it to the bucket. Perfect addition for my guest bath. Sometimes a thrifted item doesn't need much to make it your own. Just clean it up and add your own little touch. Just look at how stinking cute this bucket is with a couple of hand towels in it. Like I said, I think it's perfect for my guest bath. And it took me maybe 15 minutes from start to finish. I found this metal hanging flower basket at Goodwill for 50 cents. I had the chicken wire in my stash, and I decided to make a farmhouse inspired basket. The first thing I did was cut down the chicken wire to a more manageable amount. The roll I have is large. Next, I folded the chicken wire around the top of the basket. I used a pair of pliers to do this, trying not to stick myself with the wire. I cut the wire so I could attach it to the bottom of the basket. I went back around the top and made sure all the wire was wrapped around the top tight, not just folded over because I didn't want it to come off. I then did the same thing with the side piece of wire. Next, for the bottom. Since the bottom of the basket is smaller than the top, this was a little tricky trying to figure it out. I just kept pulling the chicken wire tight and turning the end of the chicken wire under. Okay, so far so good. Looks a little sloppy, but I can clean it up once I get it put together. I attached the other side of the chicken wire to the closest bar to it. I attached the second piece of chicken wire to the other side of the basket. I continued wrapping, twisting, and securing the chicken wire to the basket until the basket was completely covered. Now that I had the wire covering the top, I wrapped twine around the top of the basket to cover all the ends of the chicken wire. I used hot glue to secure the twine to the basket. I continued wrapping and gluing until the entire top of the basket was covered with the twine. Once the top was covered with twine, I started working on the bottom, folding and tightening all the wires around the bottom of the basket. And this is where I finally stuck myself. My fingers started bleeding and I got blood all over the table. So I would recommend wearing gloves if you try this. Once I had everything folded over and tightened up, I used 2 wood discs and hot glued them to the bottom of the basket. This helped to cover all the ends of the chicken wire and helped to stabilize the basket so it would sit flat. I placed 1 disc on the outside and another one on the inside with a big blob of hot glue in the center. I then used some antiquing wax to cover the discs. I should have done this before attaching the disc, but I decided I didn't like the light wood and thought darker would be better. Cute, 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 and can be used in so many different ways. Let me know what you think of this adorable farmhouse style basket in the comments. Please take a second to like this video and leave me a comment. This really helps my channel to grow so others just like yourself can find me. If you just found me, I hope you will join our little family by hitting the subscribe button. If you are already part of the family, thank you so much for your love and support. Y'all are the absolute best. Check out my new Amazon store for craft supply and farmhouse home decor recommendations. All the products I use from Amazon in my videos can be found there. Until next time, happy crafting!